It's your host, Holly, and it's time for a little teaser talk.
Inkcarceration, America's rock, metal, and tattoo festival with Slipknot. Falling in Reverse, Five Finger Death Punch. Plus Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Beartooth, Knocked Loose, Lamb of God, Parkway Drive, I Prevail, In This Moment, and so many more. Report to the Ohio State Reformatory on July 18th through 20th, 2025 to face your sentencing. 3 days of rock, tattoos, and the return of the Haunted Blood Prison. Passes for Inkcarceration are on sale now at Inkcarceration.com.
What is going on, everyone? Happy Teaser Talk Tuesday. You guys, I am so excited about this episode. And I'm sure you're like, okay, this bitch says this about every time, but I really am. Like, that's why I'm really excited. I promise you guys. But as you guys know, recently I came back from Inkcarceration, and I can say I'm probably just now finally fully recovered. Not that your girl got wasted or blasted or anything like that. It's just long days and heats and lots of conversations and all these other things. So finally back at it, and I'm super excited to catch up with a super cool guy who I actually met before, but virtually, and then actually got the honor to meet in person and then see out. We'll get into all the details, but everyone, I'm so excited to welcome to the show, Chris Bianchi of How We Feel Band and CB Entertainment. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great today. Like you were saying, I mean, it's so much just still catching up from the festival and enjoying the craziness that was, but it takes a little while to kind of catch back up. So we're just now kind of back into routine, back keeping things going, and already looking forward to kind of what's next though out there also.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's just like it's almost like they call it, what do they call it? Like festival depression. Like as soon as you get done with it, you're like, oh shit, what do I look forward to now? And I'm just like, I'm kind of having the opposite. I feel like I'm like, oh shit, I've got so much more to look forward to. Like there's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, no, totally. It's the same thing too, going on tour and then coming home from being so used to the everyday fast pace, and then just like sitting at home, even though it's nice, but it takes a little while for that adjustment. So it's always good though to have the things to look forward to as well along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's just go ahead and kick this off with talking about Inkcarceration, because I'm curious to see, because you guys performed there, obviously, but also you were there as a manager, as the ringleader. I don't know, however you want to say it. So I'm curious, how was that experience as both an artist and then someone who works with other acts through CB Entertainment? How was that for you?
It was interesting to say the least, but also very exciting. And I think something that thankfully mentally I kind of was prepared for, to not overwhelm. I mean, luckily, and I've been fortunate enough to be kind of part of the Inkcarceration Festival during its growth and things like that, working behind the scenes, helping curate some talent, doing staging and other things like that. So we kind of got our bearings for that over the past, I think this was our 6th year, give or take, kind of being a part of that and stuff. And then obviously being used to the performing side, even though that's been a while since we've done that, it's kind of a more fresh thing again for us. But being able to combine them, I think it was all about pacing, just like anything else, and scheduling and trying to make that all work. But really fun to kind of do both sides of it, and kind of wear both hats, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah, because of course, it's like not your first rodeo. You've done it for years, but it's also kind of too, like there's that moment mentally you have to like take off one hat and put the other one on, or you're like trying to mentally prepare for your own performance, but at the same time making sure your performers are like, are good and taken care of as well. Wow. Well, kudos to you. Like when I first met you, I was like, man of many talents. And it's so funny because like we were connecting with like Alex, for example, connecting and coordinating with her. And then like, of course, seeing you in the band, you're going to laugh at me because like, obviously it's not like you have like a master of disguise and wear like mustaches or something like that. Like you are who you are. But I don't know why mentally, like I had like my like, okay, this is my contact for Alex, my PR channel here. And then I had you as like an artist. And then it was like, I had that moment. I feel like it's like that Spider-Man meme where they're all like pointing at each other. I was like, wait a minute.
Who is
this guy? Is that they're the same person? And I just like, I literally had a hand to face palm moment. And luckily I had that like not in your presence. I had that like I think it was like day 1 or 2. I was like, wait a minute, this is the same person.
Right.
So
right.
I had a good laugh at that. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about your guys' performance. You guys crushed it. I was there watching you guys. I was one of those creepers in the crowd with their phone on, videoing it, watching it, but you guys crushed it. So congrats. But how was the performance for you on stage?
I think, thank you very much, by the way, for even being there early and checking it out and giving us a time of day too, with so many amazing
Of
artists that
course.
were too. I mean, I think for us, it was exciting too. It was really nice. And it was something that, again, saying we've been fortunate enough to work as a part of it and then many other events and things like
Yeah.
that. So kind of always like, and we're all musicians as well. That's where the background where we come from. We've played and toured and done that stuff before getting into the business side. So, I mean, I think it was kind of like that, not jealous thing, but like, oh, I want to do that. I want to play. I want to perform. So, after getting ready, getting prepared, and it was just a timing thing that made sense for this year too, of luck, obviously. And we're super thankful for all that stuff too. But it just felt good. It felt like, this is where I'm kind of supposed to be. I'm ready. This is where I
Mhm.
really want to be. It just felt like being at home at the end of the day. It's so comfortable being on stage. Although there's obviously kinks along the way, being a new band and things like that that come with it. But it was just about enjoying it, having fun, not stressing. And it was kind of like a big, family reunion, I say, just like hanging out with everybody and stuff. So I really appreciated it. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say? Did you experience like an unexpected challenge or maybe a highlight of Ink this year that really stuck with you throughout the event?
I think something that was a little bit of a challenge that concerned and we had to deal with a lot of the other acts too is just the rain and the weather being so unpredictable, from being, 80 or 90 degrees and burning hot, muggy, to instantly raining and pouring and still being muggy, trying to lug equipment, with all the great crew and everybody helping and stuff, but through the mud and just getting through all that stuff and still trying to keep like a good composure for the artist and for ourselves to perform, not over stressing when, those things were just happening around you, and just kind of letting it go to try to give the best of what we could. So thankfully it ended up being sunny when we played. We got through it all, and it was a good time. But yeah, it's crazy.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that weather was crazy because I'm just an over preparer when it comes to stuff like that. I run into it one time. And I'm like, okay, never again am I going to be soaping wet, or never again am I going to do this, never again am I going to do that. So like day one was probably, well, yeah, day one was probably the worst day, I would say, probably when it came to the weather. And I literally packed 3 ponchos, but they were all in my suitcase at the hotel room, not on site. So luckily, the bartender at the VIP tent, she was super sweet, or the artist lounge, she had an extra poncho. So shout out to her for giving me that, and I was able to enjoy it. But yeah, it was insane, and people didn't know if it was going to rain, not going to rain. We were code yellow like how many times throughout the weekend. Luckily, it didn't turn to red, but yeah.
No, for sure. And that's what I've learned with that. I mean, I used to go for, and I'm not saying it's like dressing different or anything, but I used to go for more of a rocker look and wear way more black and kind of really, wear that type of stuff and all that. And then I learned over a few years and learned of being at so many and stuff. Like I'll throw like a white tee on and just something I'm like, I can get muddy and whatever. And just, it is what it is for that type of stuff to it at the end of the day, because you don't know what you'll get into or anything. So
100%. Like I used to be very, like I still am, like when it comes to outfits, of course, I feel like that's kind of like part of it. At least for us girls, we're always like, okay, what's our festival fit? But then like it's gotten to the point where I have like one dedicated pair of Converse Chucks that are my just unspoken for festival shoes. And I will say, and like I promise you guys, I'm not a dirty girl, but I will say this is the first time this year I actually, when I came home, I double bagged them and I washed them as soon as I got home. Like I was like, okay, I promise you guys, they were not stinky or nasty, but they were pretty gross when I got home. I'm like, hey, these bad boys are gonna get incarceration washed off of them.
do some battle. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and you had mentioned too, having that FOMO on stage, like, watching your artists on stage. But I'm sure too, like obviously that's going to benefit your talent that you represent because you've been there, done that. Like, how would you say that that's really kind of, an advantage that you have as well as your talent receives, as a benefit because you've been there, done that. How do you say that that would be? What are some of the big things that you're like, okay, I get that because I've been there and done that?
Sure. I mean, I think when it comes to artist management and development with new artists and up and comers, it's something that is important to say, and again, I look at it separately again with that crazy mindset of things, but I always put our artists first, the artists I'm working with, the bands I work with, things like that always come first for me, that I'm focused for their opportunities, things that can go first for them. And like what we do is separate. It's fun. We obviously take it serious and want to enjoy it and
Yeah.
stuff. using, yeah, like you said, those experiences and our past experiences of being signed at a young age, touring, being on MTV, doing a bunch of fun things like that. It's helpful to say, like, yeah, we've been in the driver's seat. We can face these challenges. We face them. And it's something you can't learn in like a school necessarily, or
Mhm.
again, everybody's different, but there's a lot of managers and stuff that like sit in an office all day and like have never strummed a note or have never lived in the van with six dudes and sweated it out and like done that. And again, it still maybe works for them. And obviously they have their own successes, but that's where I think we're able to artists realistically, and why we've been able to be around for so long as a company with CB Entertainment is the relatability of that is like we've lived it, kind of here's what we've done, the mistakes we've made, the expenses we've spent, don't make these mistakes, and here's the reasons why, obviously. It's type of a thing. So I think that's where it's really relatable for the artist. And coming back to it now, it's different from when I was performing as well some years back with, you know, backing tracks and the in-ears and kind of all the fancy things that are there now, that it's been fun to hands-on learn more about that too and experience it. And again, say we know we're doing it, you know, we're in the trenches there with you along the way.
Yeah, and I bet too, like one thing that would come to mind. I mean, obviously, there's no musical talent in this girl. I think I played clarinet in middle school. That's about as far as my music skill set goes. But you know, one thing too, I'm sure that you can pull from that is, you know, with artists, like little things from a managing side of business part, little things to somebody like that sits in an office could be a huge thing to an artist as well. So it's kind of like, you know, how they're exactly what they're feeling, those emotions. If it's something that some people might think it's a little like, oh, okay, well, your shirt didn't fit right, you had to put in a different shirt, but that could really almost ruin somebody's day, if not their performance, when it comes to stuff like that. So that's super cool to see that you have that advantage to offer and that benefit to offer to your talent. So let's talk about How We Feel, and let's talk about your guys' new album.
Sure. No, it's been a really fun process too to put everything together, and there's a
Yeah.
story, yeah, behind all of that as well.
Well, let's hear it. I mean, this is teaser talk, so we're here to talk and we're here to tease. So let's talk about the new album. What was the kind of the inspiration behind it? What was that? You know, because you guys, that album captures a lot of emotional depth. What would
Sure.
you say? What was there, like personal experiences that fueled it, or themes that fueled that album?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it came from a lot of personal experiences along the way. And I mean, even starting from the name and the purpose of how we feel, just being, I guess, call it simple, but we didn't want to overthink it. And it was just made as a creation of, you know, we don't want to be an exact genre, like we're only metal, we're only metalcore, we're only hard rock or whatever, because as we've gotten older, we appreciate so many different genres of music and things too, and didn't want to kind of be pigeonholed into just one thing. We just wanted to create what we enjoyed, what we would want to listen to based on different days, different moods and stuff. So that's even what stemmed the name, is just how we feel, as it were. Myself and my partner Brian, the two of us are the main, you know, members of the band. We've been friends for a long time, you know, 15 years, met in high school and have played in mutual bands and things like that along the way. Both went our separate ways and kind of came back around, met back up, reconnected with, you know, our love and passion of music, and decided to want to get into that. So, I mean, I think that's what helped us dive back in and kind of come up with the idea. And all that was just no plan, no rhyme or reason, but wanting to create stuff that we enjoyed, started doing that. And then what was a really exciting part was the artist that I represent. His name's Paul Bartolome. He's based in the United Kingdom. He performs now with Asking Alexandria. So he helps co-write with a lot of big bands. He's their live guitar player. We got to sit down with him over a winter and kind of co-write the album based on how we were feeling, vibes, different ideas, and he helped us really kind of capture what we were going for, bring that to life, and then we were able to finish the album and get that created and stuff through working with him and our ideas and vision. So long story short, it was cool to get to involve one of the artists as well that I represent to kind of
Yeah.
come mix and help produce us, collaborate, and to see him continue growing as well with co-writing for Black Veil Brides, Asking Alexandria, Escape the Fate, a ton of today's big bands that are out there as well. So it's full circle with it all.
Damn, that was a big mic drop right there. That's a lot. That's awesome. Congrats. And again, benefit of working with you, right? So like that's super cool to hear. You know, and you had mentioned like you don't want to be stuck in like or put in a box of one genre, right? Like you don't want to be like that. Well, we only do these types of things of music, if you will. So how do you balance the writing of the music that's authentic to you while also creating something that resonates with fans?
That's a great question also. I mean, I think we used to care more about not what people thought, but again, it was more with this project of just like, what do we want to hear? What are we inspired by? What's the mood or the emotion? And just kind of not an arrogant way, like a we don't care what people will think or take of it or anything, but kind of just like a free flow. And that's like the first time for us. And all of our past projects was always like so serious, like it has to be like this, we have to look this way, we have to get this out with the message or the t-shirts or anything. So this has been, I hate saying, more like a hippie free flow style, but yeah, just kind of a free type of a style with the things. That's what's made us happy, just kind of doing that.
I love that. Was there a particular track on the album that was the hardest to finish?
That's a great question also too. A challenging one, I would say, is our title track, the Ready for War song, just because it hits home for both of us in our own ways and stuff. And obviously, even in the video, it kind of shows like different emotional situations that are going on, different love scenes and romances fading and things like that. But the song in general is just about the struggles that everybody faces in their own way of daily lives. And I know that can sound cliche too, but just about the ups and downs of life and about like not stopping, or hopefully having somebody that's that mutual person in your life that you have that helps keep you going, whether it's a friend, a loved one, something like that to kind of battle through with.
That's super, super powerful. I love that. So now let's shift gears and go to CB Entertainment and Artist Development. So I know, as we mentioned many times already in this episode, you are a man who wears multiple hats: artist, manager, entrepreneur. How do you maintain that creative edge while guiding other acts? Because I don't know about you, for me personally, I'm like, it's hard for me to manage myself, let alone other multiple talents. So how do you do it all?
I think that's a great question too. It's just come with years of, I guess, that like years of doing it and experience and lots of trial and error. It's been very fortunate, knock on wood, that we've been doing this 15 years now, with the company and having things growing and expanding, doing that type of stuff. So every day is a new experience. Every day is something learning along the way. I think being able to adapt and not letting the negatives get to you and to drag you down is like the biggest thing. It comes with anything in life, obviously, but just figuring out how you can adapt and overcome that, and trying to teach that to the artist and teach that along the way to them too, to just be able to adapt, and stay strong with it, is what's been able to kind of keep us rolling too. And then for my ADD brain, I always want to be into something. So even though there's many things moving, it's kind of all in the same world of like music, entertainment, production, things like that. And that just came from, again, happenstance of over the years, kind of like stumbling into this a little bit, stumbling that a little bit, getting my feet wet, or a lot of times, needing to rely on other people that kind of failed at it. So we had to do it, ourselves to the best of our abilities, type of thing. So we just keep at it.
I love it. You are a wise man. So let's ask for some advice. What important piece of advice would you give to a new artist who's trying to break through in today's music landscape?
I think honestly, and I could be wrong to some, but I think less is more when you're starting, but just trying to focus on quality at first and establishing a bit of a brand with that quality, whether it would be, say, one single or like your first EP or even just like one music video. What I tend to notice a lot of times is a group will create so much, and obviously it makes total sense when there's so much that wants to come out of them, whether it be we have a whole new album and we've got 5 videos we want to do and all this type of stuff, and it ends up, I hate saying, falling on deaf ears a lot of time, just because there's such short attention spans and so much coming out. So I think instead of taking, what would be 10 songs and an album and 4 videos and all that, taking your time, putting the focus into what could become one great one, and really doubling down on that when you're trying to grow a brand initially, when possible. Put extra time into that, extra love, extra budget, extra things to kind of really plant that flower to try to see it grow. And then obviously there's going to be adapting along the way to see what's working, what's not working. Always be, willing to adapt and flex a little bit along the way, but at least try using those type of things, I think, instead of, again, like, oh, here's a new album, but we only have 10 fans, and then what happens is like one song gets heard, 9 songs never get heard, and you've wasted all the time on that, all the money on those songs, all the recording time, when you could have spent that time pushing one great track and trying to have that track be heard and seen and stuff. to keep building. And again, every project is different, every person's different, but that's where I'd say is like what I would say right now, advice.
I love it. Yeah, that's so true. Because we, as we all know, we live in a day of distractions, right? Like we see so many different things. We watch so many different reels. We watch so many different
Yeah.
things on social media, stories, so on and so forth. But, I think people also get too, it's like, oh, well, I have to do this all the time. And I see it a lot too, as a music fan, of people just consistently just new music, new music, new music, but there's never one that really lands and sticks. So it's like, yay, it's good. You put out good stuff, but I don't know like what is your song, like what is the song or what's a hit that you put out. So it's
Right.
stellar advice.
Dick,
I love
yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, everything is different too. It's changing. And that's something as well, dating to like the artist side of my brain. I like being in this world of it because I'm learning more and we're still discovering more on the TikToks and the other things. Not that we're behind the curve. We always try to stay ahead of it. But I mean, even seeing how that's changed the game from, a few years back to now and stuff like that. And the discovery has been pretty interesting to say the least. But yeah, it's ever changing. So it's fun. It keeps it interesting.
I love that. Yeah, because it's like a double-sided sword, right? Like you want to, like you said, dial into that one, but then also to the discovery part too. So I think maybe if a good hybrid model would be, take that one thing that you're really trying to crush and then finding ways to find it discoverable. Like, it's interesting because first it was YouTube, right? YouTube was the new way to get discovered. Look at Bieber, right? That's a classic example of somebody getting discovered like on YouTube. And then it's like, okay, then YouTube came along, then you have Spotify, then you have Instagram. Now you have all these opportunities, but it's another opportunity, but it's also you have a lot of competition at the same time too, because everyone in that same lane is trying to do the same, trying to get the exact same recognition. So it's like, sound bites, because I've interviewed a lot of artists that like, they went viral, and that's kind of how they grew their fan base initially, was be going viral from a real sound bite. Or another band actually just interviewed last week, and they did a cover of like a 90s band or 2000s band, probably 2000s. I'll make myself sound young. 2000s band, and the artist's wife was on YouTube trying to find his song, like that, like a certain song of it, and actually discovered the band doing a cover, and now they did a collaboration together because of just from them putting that content out. So it's really cool to see how people are being discovered and how people get noticed.
It is. It definitely is. And I mean, I try to take off the business hat sometimes too, and just be a fan and just look to discover stuff. And I mean, I found so many unique, great artists that I mean, I wish I had the time of day that I could even have a chance to work with them or something,
Yes.
but I mean, just to discover myself and enjoy has been awesome. So I love that.
Yeah, this is a perfect segue to a question I wanted to ask you, because I know you're a busy man and I'm not trying to be like, oh, you need business. Like, hey, everyone listening in, go hunt down Chris and pitch yourself. But I think this is a good question, especially for those artists who are starting out, or maybe they're trying to get noticed. What qualifications do you look for an artist when deciding to bring them onto CB Entertainment, onto your roster there?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. So thank you. I mean, I think the band has to have a little bit of something going on, and that can be on a local level or a regional level or something, but at least at a point where they're like have a bit of understanding, playing some shows, maybe have a little bit of a release out, have something or in past projects or whatever it may be. And I think it just depends on the goal of what the artist might be looking for. So we kind of have two sectors of the company. One side is kind of more open, and that's where we do offer things like marketing for certain songs that are coming out, some press release, certain things like that, and help with press coverage, um, merchandising, printing merch, things like that for artists that we can kind of help with. And then more on like the artist management side and development and things we would look to take on for more of a long-term thing. Yeah, that's more just a back and forth conversation and something that moves us to, I mean, more than huge numbers even, or how many Spotify monthlies or any of that type of stuff. I still am kind of old school in the fact that I look for stuff that just like moves me, and like a real story of, we're out here in the garage, we're spending every day in the garage just trying to rock. We're from middle of Iowa, and like we have no money or anything and bad equipment, but like we just feel it and we're just trying, or something, is like the story that those things that like versus, hey, we have 100,000 monthlies on Spotify, like fancy and whatever. I'm like, I want the garage. I love that. That's like beautiful to me, those type of things. So that's what still gets me excited too, and what I look for. Not saying it has to be that, but like
Yeah.
realness to it. And I think that's what gets me and our team excited to want to try to push something more, try to help them plant that flower to grow and teach them and stuff. So
very cool. Well, you guys heard it. So take those notes. That's how you guys can be a stellar artist that catches people's eyes. Awesome, Chris. Well, okay, now that we have ink behind us, and oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already like more than half of the year in. What else does the rest of 2026? What does the rest of 2025 look like for you as far as the band goes, and then as far as CB Entertainment goes?
So we're going to finish out the year strong. This is that fun time of year when it starts to become like spooky season, Halloween stuff. One of my favorite times of year. But we have some tours that are going on right now that are just going to be wrapping up. We'll have a couple tours going out in fall. I think one more festival for the Act Paralandra that we work with, which is another great act. Shout out to those guys. What is it? Rocklahoma, I want to say. I might be mixing that up, but I have to double check.
No, sir, you are. That is, I will see you there if you're going to be there.
Awesome.
That's we ain't got much in Oklahoma, but we got the Thunder, and then we have Rocklahoma here. So yes.
Love Rocklahoma. I mean, that's been one that we've worked with in different ways over the past 5, 6, something like that years. But yeah, so we'll have those guys out there for that one. And then I think we'll have a special show that How We Feel will be doing. I'm not sure we can announce it yet, but we're doing a special collaboration. So it's a concert, but it's like a collab special thing or whatnot. But in a few weeks, we'll be able to hopefully announce that. So we're looking forward to that to help kind of round out the year. And then getting ready for 2026 for all of our artists. We're already having talks with South by Southwest, some we're planning, things like that. Just kind of always planning 6 months or a year ahead where possible.
Yeah, I hear you on that. That's crazy. That's awesome. Well, wow, you've had a busy year, and it sounds like you're finishing out the year busy and strong. So kudos to you. So for everyone listening in and they live underneath a rock, how do they follow you, the band, and just stay tuned to all these cool stuff that you just announced, as well as the teasers that you dropped of what to look forward to?
Oh, totally. Let's see. The easiest would be for CB Entertainment. It's just our website, cbent1.com. howwefeelmusic.com for the band. And then for myself, probably Instagram is where I share the most stuff or try to be the most active. I don't know, no rhyme or reason for that at all, but it's just Instagram at Chris Bianchi, the number 1 as well. And would love to try to connect with some awesome people out there. So, and thank you so much for having me and getting to chat, and hopefully we'll get to more in person sooner than later, of course.
Absolutely. I am so excited, and I appreciate you making time to chat with me, because like it was great working with you behind the scenes of lining everything up, but then also you're just a fantastic guy. Like your energy's there. You're one of my favorite, I don't say new people that I met, but you're one of my favorite new people that I met this year at Ink. And I'm like, okay, taking that contact, putting it in my back pocket for to stay in connection with. So I appreciate your time. And hey, if I see you at Rocklahoma, let's do a catch-up episode. I know it's just like a month away or 2 months away, but 2 months away, a lot can happen in that, right?
So true. I mean, especially with music and the crazy entertainment world. But no, same. It was a pleasure to get to hang, and I love making new friends and cool people. That's what it's all about. I mean, some people are not cool and have weird vibes and stuff. So the more cool people that are out there that we hang, work together, it's what it's all about. So you rock and you're the best.
You rock and you're the best. Like attracts like. Well, Chris, thank you so much. And everyone listening in, make sure you guys go follow him. You guys go and listen to his music so much where you're like his, like whatever the top, what's the Spotify Wrapped? Whatever it is, become like, don't stalk, but become almost stalkerish. So give him some love and some support. And Chris, thanks again for your time. I appreciate you. As always, it's great chatting with you and catching up with you.
Thank you again. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Teaser Talk. Head over to teasertalk.com to subscribe so you don't miss out on another episode. Until next week, keep rocking.